All right. How's everybody doing today? Today is June 12th, 2025, and we have a pretty good show for you today. So, if you guys could do me a favor, hit that like button, the thumbs up one, and share this out to a friend. Let's enjoy the show together today. So, out of the gate, I'm trying something a little bit new this time. So, if you see some things that are different, that you're just wondering, what is he doing? I'm confused. This is new. I'm doing something new, and so I'm going to go and throw that out there for you guys out the gate. But in our first story, um, we have Putin and his administration in Russia trying to make a power play, or at least that's the way it seems. And now a lot of outlets are saying that this is just in jest and not anything of serious consequence. But is Russia making a move for SpaceX? Russian officials have been making headlines by offering Elon Musk political asylum in the midst of, you know, bolstering their space program. And Russia has really pushed the idea over the past few years that they wanted to facilitate a stronger, better space program and kind of sort of pulling away from NASA, because a lot of people don't know that NASA is international. It is not just America, but Russia wants to start basically their own program. So they're offering some incentives for Elon Musk to kind of sort of join them. Could we potentially see a Russian SpaceX in the future? Maybe, maybe not. It depends on, the money, because Musk is a businessman and he is pro his pocket more than anything else. But I'm very interested in seeing the offers of Asylum come to fruition. Now, there are some updates that have popped up where Elon Musk has apologized to Trump for making those tweets. But at the same time, I don't know. I really don't know if there's anything that's going to come of it of serious consequence. But in the event that we see Musk make moves, this is what it is right here. They've been offering, and again, other major news outlets have been playing it or downplaying it rather, trying to make it like light and airy, like, oh, Russia's making jokes. I've not ever taken Russia for a funny haha type nation. Now, I don't think they are the enemy that some in America try to make them out to be, but I do think that this is something that we should keep our eye on. Ultimately, because hey, Musk is an asset to the United States, as you've seen him being able to cut the prices to send ships up, airships up, and bring people up and bring people down and all this other stuff. We use him as an asset because he can do it cheaper than what NASA can. And anytime the private is involved, it's always going to be better or more efficient than the federal government. So there is that. In other news, we have RFK out here doing big things. Absolutely, positively big things. RFK fired 17 CDC vaccine advisory panel members to restore faith and trust in vaccinations. The CDC is under new leadership, and the HHS is Secretary Robert F. Kennedy, if you guys didn't know, Mr. Jr. at that, says that there's been a very big distrust over the years in our CDC, especially with COVID-19. So he is implementing new COVID vaccine policies where the children and pregnant women are no longer going to be advised to, take these. If the children are healthy, no vaccines, as far as COVID goes. The reason he's doing the dismissal is that he stated that there's a drastic measure aimed in restoring the public trust overall, which I mentioned before. But I do have a video so you can listen to Mr. RFK himself. Check it out.
Hi, everybody. I'm Robert F. Kennedy Jr., your HHS Secretary, and I'm here today with NIH Director Dr. Jay Bhattacharya. And vaccine for healthy children and healthy pregnant women has been removed from the CDC recommended immunization schedule. Last year, the Biden administration were now one step closer to realizing President Trump's promise to make America healthy again.
Produced by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
And as we should make America healthy again, because why are we pushing this ideology, that medicine, modern medicine is the way? Really, we did it for years without modern medicine. Then we did it with our own knowledge of how to use natural things to get better. And over the years, we've seen a huge, massive push for vaccinations. And some believe that vaccinations cause certain illnesses. Others think that those people are crazy. But whether you're on one side or the other, you have to ask yourself, why is it that in the last 40 years, especially, have we gone from 10 vaccines to over 50 for a child? It makes no sense. And why are we giving mothers, pregnant mothers at that, vaccines while the baby's still in her belly? It's preposterous to see where we have come in modern medicine to where we were back in the past. Now, modern medicine has made substantial changes in, lifestyles and longevity of life, but overall, should we really be kept alive by medications? In my opinion, no. It's just no. But in other less important news, but still kind of funny, Costco is no longer allowing people, or the TSA rather, is no longer allowing people with their Costco memberships to board. The Costco membership for years, which I just found this out, has been used as a form of identification in planes, which is kind of crazy if you ask me. But the TSA administration has made it clear that the Costco membership card cannot any longer be seen as a valid form of identification for air travel. While it may help in some help agents confirm your identity in some situations, it won't be able to be used when boarding the flights. Now that the implementation of Real ID, which you guys know that I am vehemently against, because we have the right to travel unencumbered, and the Real ID is an encumbrance. But with the implementation of the Real ID, the TSA has emphasized that travelers need to present that to be in compliance as a form of identification, as opposed to their Costco cards. No wonder we've had all the issues on planes with terrorists and all these other people, because all you had to do prior to this was go get a freaking Costco membership card and you can get on planes. That's kind of weird if you ask me. But I digress. Anybody know who Greta Thunberg is, or however you say her name, the little girl that says, "How dare you?" Yeah, that girl got detained by Israel. Greta Thunberg was detained by Israel because she was on a boat headed to Gaza and got surrounded by Israel, as she should. And all her compatriots and all this other stuff were like, "Oh no, they got us." Yeah, you're dumb. You're going into waters where you're not permitted to be. Clearly, you didn't have the right papers and all this other stuff. For what? So you could go virtue signal? The people of Palestine are being killed by Israelis. You're an idiot. You're better be glad that they didn't nuke your ship or little boat or whatever it is that you were on. It's absolutely preposterous. These people in Gaza don't need your help. And your virtue signaling and activism or pretend activism is not going to help anybody. Following the seizure, Greta reported that was reportedly deported back to her country, and it as it should be. She wasn't coming there to give humanity and I guess you could say a political platform to speak on. But why are we giving children places to speak when they are still wet behind the ears? This girl has rocketed herself to stardom over what? Virtue signaling. It would have been. I know it sounds bad, but it would have been nice to see them actually like fire upon that little boat. But can't win them all. You can't win them all. And some more serious news. Did you know that SCOTUS mistakenly emailed orders to attorneys ahead of schedule? Attorneys find out the rulings ahead of time. So SCOTUS has had over the years a couple of leaks. Dan Bongino, which is the deputy director of the FBI, is actually investigating the Dobbs situation with the SCOTUS and where stuff was leaked and pushed out. The Supreme Court experienced a software glitch that led to pre-emailing of orders to an attorney or to the attorneys, which, again, like I mentioned before, this is the second issue, technical issue. So is it really a technical issue, or are all these people in the Supreme Court just too old and can't work the computer and they're dropping their soda on the keyboard? Oh, I accidentally sent this, or is this just some other nefarious plan where they're just pushing out information ahead of time? Either which way you look at it, it shouldn't be something that continues. And our Supreme Court is supposed to be above reproach. Doing this is not above reproach. It's not. It really isn't. It's kind of weird. So the orders were sent out several days earlier than they intended them, causing confusion among legal professionals, which rely on these notifications to, form a timely, advance on how they're going to proceed with things. Overall, the impact of this is potentially going to affect other legal proceedings. So most people are like, well, what's the seriousness of this? Well, it could basically give them preemptive abilities to maneuver ahead of time to be able to figure out cases in their favor. And I honestly think that's bad. It's really, really bad, honestly. But yeah, can we get a handle on this, SCOTUS? Either you're too old or you're just incompetent, or you might have a mole in the hill, which needs to be fixed as well. SCOTUS still in the news. Trump's removal of AP News from the White House. Now, there are a lot of people that say this is against the First Amendment, the freedom of press. You have the freedom of press to write what you want, when you want, how you want, where you want, but you don't have the right to go to the White House. You don't. President Trump is currently allowed to bar AP News, Associated Press, if you don't know who they are, from attending any White House media events for the foreseeable future. The ruling follows a previous decision where the AP News sought to regain access to the White House events after being barred, and they've been barred for a while. The court's latest ruling indicates that Trump's administration can maintain this restriction for the time being. So it really isn't about freedom of press when the people are coming there to antagonize, to perpetuate a narrative instead of actually reporting what the news is. When did we go away from reporting the news and instead of the news being a business? 2012 under Barack Obama when he repealed the Smith-Mundt Act. 2001 under George Bush when he created, or not created, Biden did that, but signed into office the Patriot Act, which is now the USA Act, which allows the federal government to lie to you, which allows, with the Smith-Mundt Act, the media to lie to you when before they couldn't do that. They had to be honest. And if they got caught lying, you could sue them. You could have them pulled from the air. It's not that way anymore. So AP News is on a roll out. Good. And I think this should be a good lesson for them and anyone else that thinks that they can just spin a narrative instead of just reporting to the people how things should be reported. People rely on this stuff, unfortunately, instead of doing their own due diligence and going to go do the research themselves. They rely on this stuff to be able to get to where they get in the world. And we're not doing that in good faith in the United States of America. It's not. In brighter news in the United States, we have to break this down for you so you can understand it just a little bit. So the U.S. Treasury has bought back some of their debt. When the U.S. Treasury buys back their debt, it means that the government is repurchasing its own fumbling the ball. However, the U.S. Treasury, under Trump's administration, has repurchased some of its own bonds, which is good. So this process is often called a debt buyback or bond buyback. And ultimately, here's in simple terms for you guys so you can understand. The U.S. government borrows money by issuing treasury securities like treasury bonds or notes or bills. Investors buy them and the government agrees to pay them interest and repay the principal at the maturity. Had they not done this, this would have looked real ugly because some of those bonds would have matured with a lot of interest. A lot of interest. What happens in a buyback when the U.S. Treasury buys back the debt essentially is paying off some of the what they borrowed early. And doing this is also either going to help with the surplus of funds or to manage the national debt more efficiently. Hopefully they're not doing this so they could spend more, which more than likely they are, but hopefully they're doing this in order to pay down some of the debt. And the total number was like $10 billion in bonds. So this is a good move by the Trump administration to have the Treasury buy this back. It's almost like they had some extra money to spend and to help themselves out. Couldn't be the tariffs, could it? I know we're, tariff fatigued, but it seems like these things are doing something because we don't do this often. We really don't. Speaking of doing things great, and this is a screenshot of that if you guys wanted to see it, grab that real quick for me. But moving on, speaking of, good things, SCOTUS reinstates Doge's access to sensitive social security data and doesn't have to turn over, Doge doesn't have to turn over request. Now that is important. On request means that if a lower court or some other facility requests that they give them the information, they don't have to do it. Now that does not stop Doge from being audited, but they don't have to be beholden to these other lower courts or agencies, which is good. It gives them more reign to actually find information instead of having to focus that is requested of them. The Supreme Court has granted Doge access to this confidential Social Security data, which includes sensitive information such as Social Security numbers, it's in the name, medical records, and tax information. This is nothing new. The federal government has already had this. Doge just now has access to this, which they were originally banned from doing this. This ruling follows a previous order from the Maryland-based federal judge that blocked Doge from accessing these records. The Supreme Court, in their decision, effectively lifted this because they don't see a problem. They don't, and nor do I. I really don't. It's our information is all there. If every time you put down that 9-digit number, so they have your information anyway. It's not that big of a deal. I don't see this as a major issue. I really don't. Really fantastic. $20 billion over the next 10 years is being invested by John Deere. And this is beautiful. It's manufacturing being returned to the United States. Now, if you recall, Donald Trump said that he was on John Deere if they did not stay in the United States. And he did this on the campaign trail. He said he was going to do this to keep them here. He's doing it. And guess what? Now they're investing $20 billion. And this comes amidst rumors of saying that John Deere's not going to do anything. John Deere's like, yeah, we are. Just stop putting our names in your mouth without any proof to back it up. And this is a major win for us because previously they were in Mexico, which caused a lot of issues with importation and actually caused the prices to be raised because of tariffs and other logistic things that went on before. Now that it's being here, it'll make it a lot easier. What a lot of people don't understand is logistics, shipping, rather, for those that don't understand, is the major cost in most products around the world. It's not the making of the product or the parts of the product, it's the shipping. Because the people that are moving this stuff around want to make their money. So inside of these strategic goals, the investment aims to enhance production capabilities, innovate manufacturing processes, and support job creations within the United States. This move is seen as a powerful signal of a confidence in America's economy and the workforce. So Trump is really doing exactly what he said he was going to do. But you got to give credit where credit is due, regardless of how you feel about this. So Trump has issued a travel ban to 12 countries and 7 others under heavy restrictions. So we're going to call this one 19 and counting. This is beautiful. So all these people are like, oh, Trump banned in his first term all the Muslim countries. He's anti-Muslim. He's a xenophobe. Yeah, well, he's done it again. He's done it again. So which of these countries are restricted or going to be affected by this? Like I said, there are already 12 countries that are completely banned from sending people to the United States, as it should be, like Afghanistan, Iran, Somalia, and a few others, you know. Then the other 7 are countries like Cuba, Venezuela, and other surrounding areas that are not fully restricted, but they have to increase their, security measures before anybody can come here. So Trump is overall trying to let you know that the government is not playing with these countries anymore. It's your security checks aren't strong enough. You're not putting a stringent enough a handle on your own national security. So why would we allow you to come to the United States? It's too much of a risk. Basically, the U.S. doesn't feel confident in these other countries, and nor should they. So we want to know why Trump is doing this. Like I said, he did do it similarly in his first term, but as soon as he got back in office, he told his officials, look, hey, you need to look into these countries because I don't think they're doing enough vetting. So we can vet these countries ahead of time and find out if we need to shut them down or restrict them. And this is a great thing. America is winning. We're safer because of these moves, and we're going to have better movement around the world because of these moves. And ultimately, if these countries want to do business with us or have their people come here, they're going to have to do their own due diligence and meet our requirements to get here, as that should be, just like we have to meet every other country's requirement when we go there. So I don't see anything wrong with protecting America or making America stronger again or safer again. It really is perplexing that people think that this is a bad thing. Would you just let anybody into your home? Oh, you guys play that analogy out. Yeah, but you're not going to let any of these people into your home. Are you? Would you let random bums on the street into your home? No, because it's your home and you got to protect your home. Right? It's common sense. It really is. It really is. So along these lines of Trump doing great things, we also have great things happening because the executive branch is the branch of law enforcement. They enforce the laws that Congress creates. They're doing this. It's nice to see that judges are not above the law. So the Minnesota state, well, not just judges, lawmakers as well. They're being put under heavy scrutiny. But I'm going to mix these two stories so we can keep them flowing together. But did you know that Minnesota had a state representative that was illegal? Check it out.
Because his mother had died. My father, as the one processing the paperwork, put my grandmother down as his mother. And so I am illegal in this country. My parents are illegal here in this country.
Yeah. I am illegal in this country. My parents are illegal in this country. What are you doing here? How'd you get in state representation? And had this not popped up, you would have probably made a run for the United States Congress as an illegal. Are we okay with this? Is this cool? Just to let anybody in our country and then let them in state office? She's a legislator. She's making laws for the state of Minnesota. No wonder this place is crazy. Pending her case and then deported. And every law that she has her name on should be rescinded. That's what the people of Minnesota should be crying out right now. Bet they won't. I bet they won't. I bet they won't. And this is crazy to me because you really don't care about your state. You don't care about your neighbors, because if you did, you wouldn't allow this. You really wouldn't allow it. It's kind of weird, in my opinion, but I digress. I don't live there. I live in a good state. Check this out. That's her, for those that secure the area. So the LA situation is, if users are being injured, homes are being burnt, cars are being flipped over, cars are being burnt, roads are being destroyed to make rocks to throw at officers and anyone else. Yeah, it's time we do something. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth said that he's going to send 700 Marines being deployed to Los Angeles. And a lot of people are complaining, Trump is doing this, it's unconstitutional. Well, the way this works, since y'all don't read, is that if in the event that the mayor or the governor does not act on the behalf of the people or the landmass, then the president can step in without any qualms. This is why he doesn't have to enact any insurrection or martial law or anything like that. But what's crazier still, he still has to ask the governor permission. But if the government of California denies it, then he can go ahead because they're not acting on the behalf of the people of the state of California. So alongside the Marines, there are approximately 2,000 National Guardsmen, which is not enough. There's like 1 million people running around in the streets, burning stuff, throwing stuff, Molotov cocktails, rocks, everything. So they need to send more. They need to send more. And just to give you guys a heads up, this coming Saturday, if you're in any major city, you need to watch out. They're calling for these things to start happening. And you need to be paying attention, looking up stuff. I just had a friend today tell me that ATF came to their family's gun shop and told them, hey, you need to take all of your weapons and your powder and you need to lock it in a vault. Because we have on good faith. Now, this is the ATF. Usually when they come to a gun store, they're coming to do an audit. So everybody gets their buttholes a little bit tighter because they know something's about to go down. But this time, this visit was telling the people that own the shop, hey, you need to pay attention because something's about to go down. We have good faith that this is about to happen. Austin, Texas now. This shop has been around for like 60 plus years. And that has never happened to where they just come in and say, hey, you need to shut down. You need to bar up everything, lock up everything. Why? Because of what's going on in California is trying to spread like a virus and a disease faster than COVID throughout the rest of the states of the United States of America. So the cost of the troops being deployed to California is $134 million, and people are complaining. You're complaining about saving a state, saving our country, because California is saying that they should secede. California, Gavin Newsom, sit down, shut up, and let Trump do what daddy does. I said what I said. You can hate it or love it, but something needs to be done. This is outrageous. Overall, it's outrageous. In some lighter news, because we need it, did you know that YouTube is all approved now? YouTube is relaxing its content moderation. Now, I think this is a power play by them, or business move rather, so that they could pull more of those who are on TikTok to their platform, because their stringent moderation tactics have really put a stranglehold on a lot of creators. Dan Bongino was one of them. He got demonetized and had to leave the app because of their policies and their codes and their regulations. So YouTube has announced that they're relaxing their content moderation policies, which means that videos might actually have the ability to stay up for violating guidelines can now remain on the platform if, caveat, they are deemed to be information to the public and of public interest. So you can say your words now, as long as you're, informing people and telling the truth. So I'm fine with this, but it's constantly being pulled down or demonetized or throttled so your viewers can't see it. If you have 1,000 viewers or 1,000 followers, those people should be seeing your content every single time they open an application. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Doesn't matter the platform, but YouTube, bravo. We give you a standing ovation for that. I am proud of you for making the move, because I think you were going to sink your own ship had you not done that. So it's nice to see that you've made the right move. I'm here for it. And hopefully, podcasts can take off because of that. I'm here for it. So this is more serious. A Chinese national has been busted for allegedly smuggling in biomaterials. What is going on? I'm curious to know this. Are you curious? What is going on? How is it that this is constantly a thing that continues to happen. If they're not in our military, they're in our police force. If they're not in our police force, they're in our colleges. And they keep doing all sorts of nefarious type things. So they arrested a scholar and charged her with conspiracy and smuggling a toxic fungus known as, I'm going to butcher this, Ferrisium graminearum, whatever, I can't pronounce it, forgive me, which is associated with various agricultural diseases. This is just another continuation of the agro-terrorism that they were doing last week that we just saw in the news. They were Chinese too. Now we have another Chinese female that's been arrested and at the University of Michigan. And the thing is, these are not just regular people. This woman was a Chinese researcher. And she's been doing her research on this particular thing. But the FBI is investigating this, and they revealed that the arrested individual had already allegedly, as they say, been involved with other individuals that were wanting to do a bioterroristic move on the United States, especially within our agriculture. If this doesn't piss you off, then I don't know what will. Our farmers already take enough hit from the federal government with being taxed out the wazoo. But this is really problematic because now that China's being kicked out from, purchasing all of the American farmland, they're actually trying to come over here, clandestine movements, come over here and actually destroy our crops. Because if this stuff wasn't caught, this would really put a major damper on our agricultural industry. It really would. So I'm here for seeing this yellow fever shut down because these people are like a fever. It is what it is. I said what I said. In other news, which I mentioned earlier, we got some dirty judges. Yeah, some dirty judges. Judges are being caught up left and right, and I'm here for it. You are not above the law. A judge in Massachusetts faced a court hearing regarding allegations that she was in the process of assisting undocumented immigrants in avoiding federal immigration authorities. This case has drawn significant attention due to the implications of immigration and enforcement. So if you remember, we had Hannah Dugan, who's really catching the fade. I'm here for it. She got caught up in it. We had the judge in New Mexico caught up in it, and now we got this judge here. It's crazy. The judge's actions are being scrutinized left and right, and they just upright and told them that you're not above the law. You're going to have to face recompense for your actions. And this is good because this is going to show the judicial branch, whether at state or federal, that you cannot be above the law, make the law, and judge the law all in the same place. Now, you guys are going to be able to be put away as you should. And I think every single last one of these judges, open and shut cases, we saw that they did it. They admitted to doing it. No appeals, no ability for them to, go in and push for a immunity deal or anything like that, or dismissals of their case. Cook them. And that will set a precedence that they're not above the law, that they too are not infallible if they do dirty things, and no more dirty judges. I'm here for it. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Keep this up and put your foot on the necks of all of these people in government who think that they are above the law just because they're in the law, that have been putting their foot on our necks as simple citizens of the United States. So this is great. I'm really here for this. I really am here for this. So the Democrats have been impressing me lately. I'm going to be completely honest. And I mean the Democrats in Congress, not any other ones. So they are saying no Juan vote. I'm here for it. So some of the Democrats are really, really pro-America, as it seems. It seems like some of them are more pro-America than the Republicans have been in recent months. There has been a bill that was voted on that was going to ban illegals from voting. Now, I'm going to let that sink in for a second. The U.S. House of Representatives voted to repeal a law that allows non-citizens to vote in local elections in D.C. And if you know what I'm talking about, that means that they were doing it in the District of Columbia. They're doing it in other states. And if you think that they're not, you're dense. But they're finally making moves that support America. They're listening to the voice of the people, and I'm here for it. So you had 148, which is a significant number, by the way, Democrats that supported the measure allowing non-citizens to vote. However, 56 of them said, nah, we're not with this. We're going to join the 200 plus Republicans and vote against this crap. This is good. So the GOP has expressed that there has been alarm bells all over the place because of the potential foreign agents and actors that come over here being able to vote. If you guys don't remember, we had a Chinese person get arrested for voting in a U.S. election. So why is this not something that is being talked about? Why is this all hush-hush? This is a major deal. And I think every other state legislator should follow suit. Please. We got to cut out the poison. And if you don't cut out the poison, you're a part of the poison, and you too need to be removed. Just like these dirty judges. Guys, I really hope that you have enjoyed the show. It has been a pleasure today to bring this to you. I know we had some hiccups here and there, but as I get better, the show will get better. I thank you guys for joining me. This has been a pleasure today. And our Bible verse for today comes from Psalms 9:10. And it says, and they that know your name will put their trust in you, for you, Lord, have not forsaken them that seek you. Guys, thank you as always. Make sure you are not one of the ones that are missing the forest for the trees. And I can't wait to see you again. Have a good one.